Hello, and welcome to episode 27 of Catalyst Conversations. My name is Riley Pope, Content Marketing Manager here at Catalyst Acoustics Group, and today we have a very special Catalyst Connect centered episode for you. Catalyst Connect is back for 2026, bringing together architects, designers, consultants, engineers, contractors, and other industry professionals for a single-day event focused on learning, networking, and connecting with the people and brands shaping the acoustics industry. This year's event takes place October 14th in Columbus, Ohio, and features CEUs and technical presentations, a tour of the Kinetics Noise Control manufacturing facility, tabletop displays from the Catalyst brands, and plenty of opportunities to connect with industry peers. In today's episode, we're going to hear from those attending this year's event and learn more about what they're looking forward to the most and what makes this event so unique in our industry. Whether you're already registered or still deciding if Catalyst Connect belongs on your calendar, this episode gives you a behind-the-scenes look at what the event means to the people putting it together. Let's dive in. And for our first guest today, we are joined by Charles Merrimon, or as we know him, CM. CM is CEO here at Catalyst Acoustics Group. Thanks so much for joining us for this special Catalyst Connect focused episode.
Hey, thanks, Riley. Really excited to get a few minutes with you and catch up today.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. Before we dive into kind of the meat of this Catalyst Connect episode, we may have some listeners who have no idea what Catalyst Connect is, have never heard of it. Could you give us a little bit of an overview of what Catalyst Connect is and maybe who it's designed for, who would get the most from attending?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that. It's a great question. It can be a very long answer. I'll try to make it fairly short, succinct. But really, Catalyst Connect is really a great event or a forum, if you will, for those that are in the acoustics industry, right? That are acoustics professionals that are highly focused and engaged around acoustics, noise control, and vibration isolation industry. And they may have a myriad of different roles or remits or responsibilities, but that's really where this audience is targeted for us. And, the day itself will include, a lot of technical presentations, continuing education seminars, CEUs, if you will, direct engagement with leaders and partners in the industry. And like most events, though, it's really about the people and the relationships that you get to experience at this event. And that's really what we're trying to bring together. So that's our aim, is to provide a platform to do just that.
And for those that don't know, Catalyst Connect is focused on the brands that Catalyst Acoustic Group encompasses here, which makes it a bit different from other events that attendees may be going to this year. From your perspective, though, what makes Catalyst Connect different than the typical industry event they might be going to?
Sure. And a lot of your industry events are doing that. They're trying to really call out those brands. I think what we are trying to do different is we make it unique because it's about the sharing, the collaboration, the listening and learning that's happening with other professionals in the space. And it's not about us pushing an agenda. It's about us bringing those individuals together, right? So that they take away more knowledge, more understanding of what's happening in the markets and the customers they serve and how we can do that better collectively, really, as a community.
Well, this is the second year of the event, so we're excited to kind of take what we learned from last year and put it into this year. What are you most excited about for this year's show?
Yeah, and a lot of times, a lot of people are afraid of what they call the sequels or the part twos. I'm more excited about this because I think we are building on what we did last year. We're just trying to make it, and I know it will be bigger and better in a way that just allows us to take the lessons learned we had, take it to another great location for us that's really, really important to the customers and the industry we serve from Dublin, Ohio. And this gives us that platform for those partners and those customers to really collaborate, share, and take away some things that's not only going to build their knowledge, but also build their network. And that's how we get better collectively.
Well, CM, thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for that overview. We got lots of great guests coming up on this episode, and you set them up well to cover this year's Catalyst Connect. I appreciate your time.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear what they have to say, and I know it'll be great. Thanks, Riley.
All right, and now we're joined by Aaron Duncan. Aaron is the Sales and Operations Manager at SoundSill. Aaron, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, and then we'll dive into what we have to expect this year at Catalyst Connect.
Hi, Riley. Thanks for having me on the podcast today. As you said, the newly appointed Sales and Operations Manager for SoundSill. Been with the company for just over 9 years, with a little over 20 years of acoustical industry work. And I'm just happy to be here to talk about CADCon this year.
Awesome. Well, last year you led one of our CEUs. What could attendees expect from this year's sessions?
Absolutely. So last year I did present on some interior room acoustics. We talked about everything from, wall panels, ceiling treatments, just a great breadth of offering from SoundSeal. We got into some baffles as well, banners as well, indoor, outdoor spaces. I think my favorite part about presenting at CADCon was all the before and after those presentations, because then people have certain expectations. They want to learn certain items. They want to learn certain things. And when those sessions wrap, and specifically mine, I had probably no less than 5 or 6 one-on-one conversations with various people from various walks of life in the industry. So, we talked with a group who were interior designers, and they were talking about the impact on the space and the importance of form and function. And then I was talking to some contractors about installation methods. I talked to some consultants as well about some product specifics. So I really enjoy, and I think a lot of people, is that it's not your normal CEU, right? You're not, running into an architect's office or a designer's office for a 1-hour session, and then you shake a few hands, give a business card, and you're off and running, right? It's the ability to stand around and have those meaningful conversations after those presentations that makes a lot of connections and connects a lot of dots at that point.
Yeah, I agree. And what I'm hearing is just having that in-person interaction is just so valuable, which kind of leads me to my next question. What makes seeing acoustical treatments, physical products in person so much more valuable than just scrolling online or seeing them on a website for you guys?
Absolutely. And with the diverse group that we have at CAG, CAGCon is going to, showcase a lot of different products. For SoundSeal, because we cover so much ground from both all the way from industrial noise control, architectural finishes, to some specialty products as well. It's nice to see, how things come together, to feel a fabric, or to see the texture, or to see stitching on a panel and look at the level of quality is probably the biggest understanding that people have, because then they go, this is not an off-the-shelf product. This is something that is, bespoke. It's fully custom. It's made right here in the USA. And it's just impressive to see how each group does it. And then more impressive to see the level of product that they offer into the acoustical world.
Well, as a second-time attendee, what are you personally looking forward to the most at this year's Catalyst Connect?
You know what? I'm going to say this. Last year, the energy level was so high. We had some music. We had an MC announcing what was going on in different areas. I hope we do that again this year. Again, I haven't connected fully with the marketing team, but I'm sure they're going to dial it up again. But honestly, the presentations, Andrew Polte is going to have a great one for IAC. Ben Hickey's going to talk about wood products, and he's a great presenter. I would not miss that. Ben Vause is going to do a phenomenal job of kind of demystifying some of the acoustics world and understanding it. And then probably Eric Wolfram is must see, right? I think for Riverbank Labs, anybody that visits and listens to any of his presentations will always take something away. I don't care if you've been in the industry 1 year or 25 years, he will educate you, and he does it in such a great way. His delivery is phenomenal. So hats off to Eric Wolfram and his presentation, which is at the end of the day. So I would encourage everybody to get there early. I would encourage everybody to grab a plate and head over to any table and have a conversation. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be presenting at the booth at the table for SoundSeal. Not presenting any CEUs this year, but I get to socialize more. So come see me. Say hello.
Well, perfect. Aaron, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you in Columbus.
I'll see you October 14th.
And now we're joined by Eric Wolfram, Laboratory Manager at Riverbank Acoustical Laboratories. Eric, your presentations have been very popular over the years. Tell us a little bit about why that might be and what we might expect from you this year at Catalyst Connect.
Well, we've seen just an explosion of interest in acoustics generally throughout the architecture industry. Sometimes I feel like in the past 15 years, let's say, acoustics went from being, something that us in the trade had to convince architects was important or something they needed to think about. And then today it's a hot topic in architecture. So, and we've seen that sort of ramp maybe exponentially over the past 10 years, especially. So people are very interested in it. People are very fascinated with it. And our presentations have served as a sort of kind of introduction to concepts, introduction to, what the acoustical classifications are, what they mean, how they're tested, and then kind of like, common questions, common issues people might have or run into. So we've kind of tailored it around just introductory education of acoustical concepts.
So for an organization like Riverbank Acoustical Laboratories, shows like Catalyst Connect are a bit different. Can you tell us a little bit about how you view these types of events, these trade shows, these gatherings, about what you go into a show like this wanting to get out of it?
Yeah, so we're sort of the odd duck in the Catalyst portfolio, and I say that in the most, the nicest way possible, right? So we have a completely different customer base than any of the other Catalyst brands. We serve acoustical product manufacturers around the world. We test for over 400 different companies around the world. So, and some of them are competitors for Catalyst. And so we've proven over the past several years that, we are completely unbiased. We test for the Catalyst brands and we test for other companies in the industry. So Catalyst Connect's a great opportunity for me to connect with acoustical consultants and influencers in the architecture industry, and to hear what their needs are, what their concerns are, and to see how I can help.
Excellent, Eric. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We're all looking forward to seeing you in October in Columbus. You have a safe trip, and we'll see you out there.
All right. Thank you.
And now we're joined by Ben Hickey. Ben is the Director of Sales for both Kinetics and RealAcoustix. Ben, why don't you give us a little information about yourself and we'll dive in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I started back in 2019 with Kinetics Noise Control, specifically in the room acoustics division, branched into the home market about a year later during the fun of COVID. And then in the past year, I joined the RealAcoustix team and I'm working within their sales division to help further the prowess of the wood product and offerings that they have.
Well, you're on the schedule to present this year at Catalyst Connect. Could you tell us a little bit about what attendees might expect to hear from you at your session?
Yeah, that's going to be more focused on biophilic design to the wood product in general. So while it is listed as a RealAcoustix presentation, I think it flows for all of the wood brands that Catalyst has under its banner. And so we'll be talking a lot about how wood products can help with both absorption, but also the diffusion and scattering that they're known for.
We're kind of diving back into the RealAcoustix brand specifically. Is there anything that team is looking forward to showcasing this year at Catalyst Connect?
We're always happy to show our flagship product, which is the GUD panel, GUD, Geometric Uniform Diffuser. It is 2.5 to 3 times more effective in diffusion and scattering than just about any other product on the market. So it's a Richard Lenz original design, and it's one of our most proud components that we offer. So we're deeply happy to show it, as well as some of the deep dive products that are highly technical and effective to the audience that's going to be in front of us.
Well, I've been asking this question to a lot of people, but what are you looking forward to most about Catalyst Connect? What kind of separates it from a typical industry conference?
Yeah, I think especially from last year, we had a lot of great interaction with new faces. It was the first year we ever had it. If anybody's going to walk away from something, hopefully it's the knowledge of a product maybe they didn't know existed that may treat some of their technical issues. I always like to fulfill a problem and give a solution to that issue. And so I think they're going to find that we have a lot of technical prowess between both brands, Kinetics and RealAcoustix, and we usually have something that's going to offer them a solution to any kind of noise problem that they have.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Ben. We're looking forward to seeing you at the show.
Thanks, Riley. Appreciate it.
And now we're joined by Jeremy Cantor, Group President here at Catalyst Acoustics Group. Jeremy, you oversee several of the brands across the Catalyst Acoustics family. From your perspective, what makes Catalyst Connect different than the typical industry conference someone might be attending?
What makes Catalyst Connect very different from other events in the acoustical industry is that it's focused solely on Catalyst. So what's happening at this event is we're taking all of our Catalyst companies and bringing all of our expertise into one room for our external partners, whether that is manufacturers, reps, or acoustical consultants, contractors. We want you at Catalyst Connect. And it's your opportunity to ask questions of our different brands, gain more insight through educational experiences. And then this year we're hosting it at Kinetics in Dublin, Ohio. You'll be able to see our facility and walk that facility, see how we make fabric wrap panels, see how we're rolling out our ring floor with kit pads in it, right? We want to make sure that you understand what this quality in this product being made and that we're doing it right here in the United States, which is really exciting as well. So we're excited to have everybody at Catalyst Connect, and I'm excited as the first timer to be there.
Yeah, you kind of flowed right into my next question. It's also going to be my first time at the show this year. So as a fellow first timer, what are you looking forward to most?
As always, I'm always looking forward to meeting our partners, right? The only reason that we have a job, right, all of us that work for Catalyst, is because we have great partners that get out there every day of the week and sell our products. Again, when we have industry events like this specific to Catalyst, we bring everyone together in one location. It's just such an amazing way to capture everybody at one time and learn from them, right? What we can be doing better, what's working, and it's a really, really good opportunity for all of our people at Catalyst to get a lot of great feedback and also have a little fun along the way, right? Because we get to see our partners who become our family, right? At Catalyst, we're all about family, and we have such tenure in some of our partners. Some of our partners have been with us on the manufacturer's rep side for 15, 20, 25 years, and when we get to bring them into a place all in one place, it's special, right? So I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy, and we're looking forward to seeing you in October.
Awesome. You too. Thanks, Riley.
All right, now we are joined by Andrew Polte of IAC. Andrew is one of our presenters here this year at Catalyst Connect. Andrew, could you tell us a little bit about what your presentation is covering and what got you interested in this topic?
Hi, Riley. Thank you. The presentation that I'll be giving at Catalyst Connect this year is Precision Acoustic Test Chamber Technologies and Applications. It's a little bit of a long-winded way of saying test facilities. And what that covers is acoustic test chambers. That includes anechoic chambers, reverberation rooms, and general predictable field acoustic test facilities. And so it's a really interesting topic. I've talked about this quite a few times before. That's my specialty, testing facilities. And so I'm really looking forward to it and answering questions, and hopefully we'll get a good amount of attendees.
That's awesome. Well, you just mentioned a little bit there that you've kind of covered this topic before. Are there any questions that come up regularly once you're done with your presentation that people might expect answered during this?
I do get a few questions that come up more often than not. One of the most frequent ones that I tend to hear is about the test facility itself, as far as the size. Test chambers can be tabletop, small units. They can be gigantic, large room size that can fit a Class 8 semi-truck with a trailer in it. So it really is dependent on the product that you're testing, both the size and the shape. It also is dependent on the frequency that you need to measure accurately, specifically low frequencies. The depth of the walls is very dependent on the cutoff frequency of the room. Most commonly, you'll see a 100 hertz or 200 hertz cutoff frequency, and that determines the depth. And also the distance from the microphones to where your product is going to be measured is important in determining the size as well.
Andrew, I know last year you were attendee of the show, and this year you're a presenter. What are you most looking forward to coming back for the show this year?
Well, I'm really looking forward to presenting. I'm excited about that. Last year was a really big success. We had a lot of attendees, and there was a lot of good communication, a lot of crosstalk between the different brands within Catalyst as well. So it was really, really great to get together with everyone and talk to them and see some of the local influencers and reps in the area. And I would highly recommend the factory tour as well. at this year's Catalyst Connect. The factory tour is going to be exciting. You'll get to learn, answer a lot of questions, and I'm really looking forward to that. In addition to talking to all the folks local to Columbus area and giving the presentation.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to your presentation this year, and we'll see you in Columbus.
Thank you, Riley. It's been great.
And now we're joined with Eric McNeal, Channel Alliance Manager at Catalyst Acoustics Group. Eric, you were very influential in the creation of this event. Coming into the second year of the show, with that perspective in mind, can you tell us a little bit of your viewpoint of the impact that an event like this could have on those attending?
Absolutely. The idea was basically to be able to showcase Catalyst as a whole company, because a lot of our even our key partners, not just the industry, didn't really understand Catalyst and what we bring to the table. Being a company that has, 10 brands under it now, they didn't really understand how we were going to market. And the fact that, we actually have responsibility for all these brands because they were so agnostic, they didn't really see that it was a parent organization that really kind of gave breath and life to these 10 brands that kind of stood on their own. This year it's going to be in Ohio. So we want to bring out the key influencers in that market and the surrounding markets that will allow our invest partners to mingle and get to know them in some cases. And then also, if they got premier customers they want to bring in, they also can invite them to the show to be able to walk the floor and get a clearer understanding of how much Catalyst actually does to support not just our brands, but at our partner level, because we also want to be voice of our partner. And at the same time, it's one of our, I would say, criteria of being best in channel is to be able to bring additional value adds to our partners.
Yeah, and I think you could give good insight into this as well. If there was someone that was on the fence of attending themselves or maybe pushing their team to attend, what would you say to encourage them that coming to this show is worth the trip?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I definitely have a great story because Joe Flores from McNeal & James, which I'm sure he doesn't mind me sharing, I clearly told Joe that, look, this is an opportunity for you to showcase McNeal & James in an environment that's going to be filled with influencers that you may not even know about, but you can now introduce McNeal & James, right, as the voice of McNeal & James, one of the key partner leaders in the organization, to what your company actually does and can do to support some of the projects that, you're not even spec'd on at this point, but now you can be at least a voice or a fly on the wall, if you will, to hear what some of the things that are going on in the space. And then also, we have the CEUs there. So basically, at the end of the day, Joe came up to me at the end of the show last year and said, "Hey, Eric, I'm glad I came. I met a lot of great people. I've got some contacts now to reach out to, and it was definitely worth my time in being here." So that's the same thing I've talked about with some of the partners who are, from our invest partner perspective, who are coming out this year and wanting to bring customers out. And again, it's like, look, at the end of the day, you have an opportunity to showcase who you are in that Ohio market and surrounding areas to them, your customers, and to those constituents that are there. That will show your value to them. And going forward, hopefully you will get meetings and opportunities now to be spec'd on projects that maybe weren't even a possibility before the show.
Well, Eric, I appreciate you joining us and excited for year two, excited to have you back in Columbus. We're looking forward to seeing you in October.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Riley.
All right, everyone. We are joined now by Ben Vause, Director of Sales Building Acoustics at Kinetics Noise Control. Ben, last year, we know you had a speaking session. Specifically this year, what are you covering and what brought about this topic? And tell us a little bit about what we can expect from that.
Yeah, last year we kind of introduced a new CEU course that we had redeveloped called Building Acoustics Beyond STC and IIC. So we take a little bit of a deeper dive into the building code standards that were developed with the STC, which is the sound transmission class, and then IIC, which is the impact insulation class. Those are the two main kind of noise isolation standards that were developed by ASTM, and they have gotten into the International Building Code. So that's a lot of the two big standards that my market group focuses on. So we take some time and go through that through a CEU course with AIA accredits, and really dive into the application details and why it's important to make sure that all the design professionals are including these components when they're designing spaces, whether it's a hospital or a hotel or just a multifamily apartment building. and what the standards really mean, and how to really kind of ascertain how the design is going to impact the user experience in the space. So we're going to do the same presentation. We've refined it a little bit, haven't changed a whole lot, but we've got a year of it under our belts, and we're going to do the same presentation this time around, with a little more polish on it, I guess.
Hey, you gave us a lot of good information there, but if there's maybe just one or two components of what you're going to cover in the CEU that someone needs to file away in anticipation for this, what might that be?
Yeah, it is really, we focus on the key takeaway that we want everybody to have is that, STC and IIC are metrics. They are the standard, but there's a lot of nuance in those standards that impact a user experience in the space. So relying simply on a single number doesn't always get you the result that you're really looking for. So we want people to walk away with a good understanding of what that nuance really is and how we can help guide them when they're developing their projects and designing their projects.
Excellent. Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining us. I know many people are looking forward to your session and looking forward to seeing how the show goes. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
And now we're joined by James Thomas. James is the National Sales Manager at Noise Barriers. James, we have you down for a session this year. Could you tell us a little bit about what you plan to cover?
Absolutely. I'm super excited to be presenting a CEU course regarding our acoustic doors. Specifically, we're going to dive into the testing and standards of acoustic performance, places where acoustic doors will matter, and also the benefits of a good acoustic door system. I think a participant in this CEU course is going to come away learning quite a few different new things, and also maybe hone in some things they thought they knew, get some more details regarding those.
Yeah, I appreciate you kind of diving in there a little bit. We have lots of speaking sessions that day, pretty action-packed. Could you give a little more insight on what maybe someone might walk away with after they attend your session?
Absolutely. Specifically, we would love every participant to be able to explain how excessive noise can negatively impact their health and well-being. We'd like them to be able to identify key characteristics of an acoustic door and evaluate appropriate use cases across commercial, institutional, educational type projects that they might come into. And then we'll also dive in at the very end into some of the LEED and WELL standards regarding acoustical products and the safety and sustainability goals.
Very neat. I think that's going to be a very interesting topic that day. Well, you're one of the Catalyst Connect pros. This is your second year here at the show. As a second-year attendee, what are you most looking forward to this year?
I'm excited to be in Ohio. See our plant at Kinetics is probably what I'm looking most forward to. I've interacted with a lot of the sister company at Kinetics individuals and sales members, but I'm excited to go see their facility and get a tour of how they do business and what standards they do in their shop, and maybe we can bring some of those things back to Noise Barriers.
Very cool. I appreciate that plug for the Kinetics tour. That's going to be an exciting thing of the show as well. I hope everybody can make time to do that. Well, James, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing you in Columbus. We'll see you in October.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Riley.
Okay, everyone. And now we're joined by Mike Merry. Mike is the sales director at Frasch. Mike, Frasch is known for being a pretty cutting-edge company in this space. Is there anything new you're showcasing this year at Catalyst Connect that we might want to know about?
Yeah, Riley, thanks for having me. Well, we do have some new products that we will be showcasing at the October event. Frasch has gotten away from new product development over the last few years due to just the growth and trying to keep up with the pace of just day-to-day manufacturing. We've gotten back now since the beginning of 2026 to developing new products based on industry feedback and kind of where we think the direction of acoustics is headed in our sphere.
Awesome. Well, I think a little bit related to that, how might planning for a show like Catalyst Connect differ from maybe a more traditional industry conference someone else might be attending this year?
Well, I think because it's a CAG event, right? We've got all of the brands will be represented there. We want to step up our game to make sure that we're showcasing us in the light we want to be seen in, right? It's a little friendly competition, if you will, between the other brands. So it is a bit different than what we've done previously. We also have just kind of a new approach to how we're conducting business. We've got all new leadership. So again, this is kind of our first chance as a leadership team to be in front of the other brands as well, along with the designers and architects that will be in attendance. We really want to step up the game and make sure we've got quality samples, quality displays, and that we've got our A game when we're there.
Well, I've seen y'all's work before. I know it's going to be a very quality setup from you guys. Last question here. What are you looking forward to most this year at the show?
I think just showcasing how we're different to not only our sister companies, but to everybody that's going to be in attendance. We are a different organization. Like I said earlier, we've grown leaps and bounds over the last few years. And to keep up with that pace, we've had a big change in structure and a big change in just how we present ourselves to the community that we deal with. And I think it's going to be exciting to be in front of that group and in front of our internal sister companies to show how we have changed and how we have grown and how we're different, quite honestly, going into 2027.
Excellent, Mike. Well, thank you so much for joining us and give us a little insight into Frasch and what we can expect at Catalyst Connect this year. Looking forward to seeing you in Columbus.
Same. Thanks, Riley.
All right, and now we're joined by James Ho. James is the group president at Catalyst Acoustics. James, I know you're a little new here, so this is your first time attending Catalyst Connect. What do you expect from your first time to the show, and what are you looking forward to getting out of this?
Certainly, I think this is a very exciting opportunity for me to learn from the industry the best, also connecting to our customer and our agents to see what's new out there and what can we do better. And also this opportunity for us to show our latest technologies, how can we improve their environment. So definitely we're looking forward to meeting our customers and connecting those dots.
Yeah, and you already kind of dove into my next question here, talking about the connection that you're going to receive to those in our industry. But what kind of conversations do you expect to happen or look forward to happening between attendees and the brands that you work with on a daily basis?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to see from our customers and our agents simply where can we help them in terms of their current challenges, in terms of their job site or the current work they are working on, to see what unique aspect we can provide even further. Those kind of more detail can helping us to shaping our new product development, and also in terms of our other services, how can we combine other areas to really serve them better?
Well, James, the show is coming up in October, so we're getting closer and closer to time. I know we have probably a few people that are listening. They're on the fence about making the trip. What might you tell them to encourage them to actually come to Catalyst Connect this year?
Absolutely. I think not only we know what we know, but we don't know what we don't know. It's a great opportunity to go out to see what's out there and then ask questions to explore the new things, and you might not be able to find out. So definitely encourage everyone, you have time, join us to see the newest technology we have, and also learning from other perspectives, from other side of the customer. So this is a great opportunity to connecting, learning the new technologies, and how do we conquer the new world.
Thanks so much, James, for joining us. I appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you in Columbus.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode. We hope you've gained some great insider perspective on what makes Catalyst Connect such an amazing industry event. If you haven't registered yet, we encourage you to do so. Catalyst Connect is a one-day event taking place on Wednesday, October 14th in Columbus, Ohio, designed for architects, contractors, designers, specifiers, and consultants. And did we mention it's completely free to attend? Visit us at catalystacoustics.com/events/connect to save your seat. Thanks again for tuning in to Catalyst Conversations. Be sure to follow the show so you don't miss what's next, and we'll see you in Columbus.